Hello everyone, welcome to this why video for my new channel, Chillin in the Foyer. So first I want to let you know the goal behind this channel and what I hope to accomplish here. So it is a channel about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and our beliefs and some different things. But the purpose of this channel, which is subject to change over time, is to really answer questions. So for example, there are just a lot of questions that I've had as a lifelong member of the church, and historically I've been pretty quiet about my beliefs. It was mostly through actions that I tried to just share and show what I believed, which isn't a bad thing. I think that was good in many ways. But I've felt a need for the last little while to speak up. I just wasn't sure how to do it. I've tried a few different things that didn't quite go the way I was hoping they would go. So anyway, just to give you a quick understanding, so like I plan to dive into history of the church. It's not all great. It's not all flattering. The doctrine, policy, council, culture, and tradition. What's the difference between all those things? And really the why behind so many of the beliefs that, and also the policies that we might have or the things that we've been taught, and cultural and traditional things. That there are certain things that frankly I don't agree with. And so I want to talk about who I am and why it matters. Hopefully why it would matter to you as well. So as I mentioned, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was born in the church. I was baptized a member when I was 8 years old, received the Aaronic priesthood at 12, and was ordained an elder at 18, received the Melchizedek priesthood, went on a mission at 19, was married in the temple at age 24, and in the last 10 years have held a number of callings within the church. Been an elders quorum presidency, been an elders quorum president, been in the young men's presidency before they changed the way that worked, and currently I'm in a bishopric. Now I don't say any of that to self-aggrandize myself or talk about how great I am. That's not at all the reason. The reason I share that is because even though I've been in those callings, which are fairly visible callings within the church, I've had questions and concerns and things that have kind of pushed me in that I don't understand. Some of that has been the history of the church and different things I've learned over the years. And what's really interesting is I've never had as many questions in my life as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as I have in the last, I guess, 2.5 years that I've been in the bishopric. And so why I hope that matters to you is that you can be an active, faithful member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and still have questions, still have concerns, still not understand everything and want to try and understand better. And so my goal here is to dive into some things, and a lot of the things that I will be sharing and learning from come from the topics and questions section within the LDS Gospel Library, which you see here on the screen. There are a lot of things in there, lots of good information. Now, some people might say, well, that's coming from the church, so of course it's going to be biased towards the church. And I think that maybe that's true in some cases, particularly with history-related things. But I do think the church has been more transparent with some of that and has admitted their own faults and some of those things there. But when it comes to the whys of things, I want to dive into those topics and questions and try and start with what the church has posted about these different things. And then we can dive into them a little bit further. The truth is that no matter what source you go to, there's going to be some bias to it one way or another, I've found. So you just have to be very careful with that. But the one thing that I have constantly tried to teach others, I've been around and for myself as well, is if I have a Ford truck, right, and it breaks down, I'm taking it to a Ford dealer in hopes that they are the ones that designed it and know better what to do to fix it, rather than take it to a Chevy dealer who is likely just going to try and tell me that what garbage Ford is and sell me on a Chevy. And so I look at it this way as well. I see a lot of interviews with people who they talk about the LDS Church, but they don't actually talk to active, faithful members of the Latter-day Saint religion. And so a lot of times it's either people who've never been members and have just done their own outside research, or former members, or members, maybe they're still members, but they've left the church and have very negative feelings and opinions. They don't actually talk to people who are living a faithful, active life in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So for me, this channel is for those who are active. It's for those who are less active, inactive, not members, those who have left the church, whatever. But this is just the way I'm going to try and look at it. Even talking about some of the history things, I will, talk about things I don't like. There are things, but you won't find me dunking on the church or any of that kind of stuff. What I really want to do is try and take a faithful approach. I heard another LDS person talk about when there are difficult things within the church, the way that she likes to look at it, faith, hope, and charity, right? Having faith in whatever is going on there, that it's still the Church of Jesus Christ. Hoping that these people that maybe made some of these mistakes were still trying to do their best. And then charity, giving grace and charity to these people who maybe, they didn't handle things totally perfectly or the way that God would wanted it. So that is my goal with this channel here. Now, the Chillin and the Foyer name, one thing you would know about if you've been to a LDS church is to get into the church, you first go through the foyer, right? And so in the chapel is where the sacrament happens, more official, formal talks are given and teachings. And then within like the different classrooms, you kind of have that same thing as well. A lot of it is formal. A lot of it is, these different discussions and everything that can feel very formal. While for me, what I want this to be is we're in the foyer, so we're still having discussions within the church building. These are about church things that are important, but we're more free-flowing. We're able to just have conversations, talk about things. Not everything is going to be, rainbows and sunshine for the church, but it's also not all doom and gloom with, different things. Just to have a very real, open conversation. And the truth is, a lot of the conversations that I will be having here are from conversations I've had with other people, members of the church, former members of the church, non-members, different things like that have come up over time. So I hope that as I go through this and we talk about these things, that you will you'll learn, kind of understand. I'm not expecting everyone to agree with what I'm saying. And I do want to make it clear that much of what I talk about, besides what I pull up, on the screen here at times, much of it is going to be my feelings and my opinion, and it does not reflect the opinions or the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The only things I will say are things that I specifically bring up on the churchofjesuschrist.org website. That is official teaching and policy or different things on there. So looking forward to going through this journey with you. Thank you. And one last thing I guess I will say, a journey that I've definitely been on the last few years is trying to understand for myself what's doctrine, what's policy, what's counsel, what's culture/tradition of the church. Because there's a lot of that culture and tradition, and much of it I don't love. I don't necessarily agree with. But one thing that my wife has done, she bought this statue of a hand, and it's just doing this. And it's to remind us, love God, love others, right? And so even though there's so many different things, different rules or whatever within the church, when it all comes down to it, if we can remember to love God and love others, then we're on the right track. And that's really something that I try to teach and preach to others. There's a lot of things that other people do that I may not agree with. There's a lot of things I do that others aren't going to agree with. And that's okay. That's part of the human experience. But that's where I want to make sure that what we're mainly teaching is that we're all children of God, and we should be loving everyone else. And we do that by loving God and showing love to our brothers and sisters. So looking forward to this. thank you for watching. And if you're interested in former or future content, feel free to like and subscribe.